everybody? It's Luke Toll from DexTech here again, and today we're going to be talking about how to modify a Shopify theme. And not just modify the theme, but actually create a way for our clients to modify the information and basically do things on their website without involving us. So basically the way we write code, typically here at DexTech, is in a way that allows our clients to leverage the editor or the backend of Shopify to actually manage that information. We never want to write things that are just one and done, right? And it's like it's specifically for this use case. So example would be, I could go into the Shopify code and basically the requirement we have today is creating these badges. And so, I could go into the code. I could say if bath bundles, if this link is equal to bath bundles, then create this badge. If the link is equal to super plush, then create this badge. The problem with doing that is every time they need to modify it and create a different badge, for instance, then they're going to have to come talk to me. So the way we write code, the way we modify Shopify themes is basically handing that power back to the clients. And I'll show you that here in a second. But that's basically the requirement. They have these badges. This is actually just an example website. Currently today, this is our current website here. As you can see, we have no badges, right? There's not a lot of pop. There's just categories, which is great. It works. But ultimately, we're wanting a bit more pop. So basically, the way Shopify is structured is there's these things on the left-hand side, which are called sections. That just represents content in the structure of the website. So again, announcement bars first, then we have the header, then we have image with text, as you can see on the right-hand side. So basically, this allows somebody to modify the content of the website using these things called sections, okay? Just know that. The tricky part becomes where maybe you have some additional images you want to show in this first section. And if we look at that right now, we wouldn't be able to do that, right? Just using a section. So Shopify developed this concept. It's called blocks. And it basically gives us the ability to create additional pieces of content within that same section. So if I had 3 images, I'd be able to create 3 different blocks with 3 different images and maybe different text here, right? So that is the 2 primary things to know about Shopify. We have sections and blocks. In this example, since we're going to have more than one badge, right, we're going to need to define those. We are basically going to use blocks. Now, when I went into here, I said, oh, you know what? We already have some blocks. What's going on there? And I saw here, classic set most popular. Let's go over here. Oh, classic set most popular. Okay, cool. So I already realized that this section was using blocks. And basically, when I went into the code, as soon as I knew that, I basically just scrolled down to the very bottom of the page and basically was just looking at the section settings, right, which is basically the settings of the section itself. And then within that, it's going to contain these things called blocks, right? So when I looked at blocks originally, I was like, oh, okay, they have this image menu block. What is really cool about blocks is I don't have to, you can actually define different types of blocks that do different types of things. So in this example, I'm like, it probably makes the most sense to leverage. Sorry about that. Okay, now we have a bunch of windows opening. Might have to cut that out. Anyway, basically we have a bunch of the ability to basically create different types of blocks that serve a different purpose. And so basically when I knew these blocks already existed, I said, okay, cool. We have this block called image menu, which is great. It serves the purpose of serving up an image in the menu. But in our example, we need to actually serve badges. So I basically just created this thing called menu badge and basically gave it 2 characteristics. One, what's the menu text say, i.e. is it breeze comforter, cloud comforter, puffer, etc. And then what's the badge supposed to say? So that was the basic thing I developed. So if we go back, once I actually put this in the schema on the left-hand side here and I click save, this actually becomes, I have the ability to now add menu badge, which is exactly what I called it here on the left-hand side. We do that. Then you can see we have menu text and we have badge text, just like I created here in the schema. So that's the cool thing about Shopify. Lord have mercy. Give me 1 second. Okay, that's the cool thing about Shopify is that it allows us to basically create a user interface very easily through this thing called the schema, which is basically just like a data structure. It allows us to create that. So in this example, I already created some examples actually here, but let's just say we had never used this before. So I'm going to create something for menu text cloud comforter. It's going to be called hot. If you just saw, it actually creates a little badge. So here's the thing about Shopify and making sure that we're doing things properly. So what I end up doing is basically creating a characteristic on each one of these. And I don't want to get too far into technology, but basically, one part is allowing the user to enter in the information they would like to see. The next part is implementation. So in this example, I basically just said, hey, I created an attribute, which if we look at these, I can just show you this. I mean, we're doing code stuff, so like, why not? Let's get into the code. Let's see if I can get to that. So in this example, I actually just said, hey, for every link, just give me this characteristic called data-title equals to the lowercase version of that link. You might be asking yourself, Luke, why did you lowercase this, right? Why did you make it all lowercase? Because ultimately, I don't want to have someone make the mistake of typing in all caps Breeze, then Comforter, and the code not working, right? So basically just made it sure it was lowercase. And what that enabled us to do is I basically said, hey, for every block that is a menu badge, right? We created that new block. So anything that's a menu badge, we don't want to look at these images. We want to just look at the items that are called menu badge. Basically create some content behind the text. So we use this after characteristic in CSS. I think it's Cascade style sheet, I want to say. But basically, this is just the implementation side. But basically, it just loops through all those menu badge blocks, and it says, hey, wherever the text says Breeze Comforter, I need to create some code to basically create this badge poplar for it. So if we look, I can just kind of show you the implementation. Like I said, we use that after. As you can see, it was dynamically generated. So basically, it's a combination of using Shopify Liquid and the scheme, so i.e. being able to allow someone to enter information, and then understanding how all these different concepts on the web works, right? So this is something that not your everyday developer is going to know. This is not something you can just hire someone off the street to do. This is where we're adding a ton of value, and ultimately, this is a space we like to play in, basically enabling the theme to do what the client needs it to do and making it dynamic so they can continue to use that in the future. Thank you so much for everybody joining today. If you want to like, subscribe, if this is helpful for you, if you're finding this content great, please do that. It's good feedback for us. If not, please don't do that, because then you're helping the algorithm push bad videos, which we don't want that to happen. Just DM me on LinkedIn or something and tell me, Luke, you could do better in this area. So thanks so much again. Luke Tull signing out. Bye-bye now.